So I'm delighted to be joined here today by Aron Kennedy. Aron is Vice President of Game Day Production and Broadcast Operations at the San Francisco 49ers. Aron, thank you so much for being with us today. I know you've had a very busy 24 hours. You debuted your new world first 8K full field replay technology last night. So congratulations to begin with.
Thank you.
And perhaps you can tell us a bit more about this amazing feat.
Yeah, the concept here was pretty straightforward. We had a partner of ours, Foxconn, come in and they wanted to integrate 8K technology, video technology into the system. Our video boards here at Levi Stadium are HD, so 1080, 1920. They're wider than that, but we fill a 1080, 1920 video signal. And we were thinking, how do we integrate 8K video technology into the existing system? To completely redo the existing system would take a lot of time, a lot of effort. It's not something that we could do right away. And 8K technology really would be very difficult to fully implement in the stadium. So we thought, let's take 8K cameras, which Foxconn has some relationships there, and let's get them into a replay system. And then the replay system can output HD into our system, right? And what that allows us to do is it allows from the camera, take an 8K raster, so the entire frame is 8K, and then anywhere in that image, we can zoom in 400% and grab an HD signal and still be HD quality. The other nice thing is these cameras are 120 frames per second. So you can really slow down the action. American football moves so fast that you really need to be able to slow down almost to a pause or a stop a player's actions on the field, which would allow you to make decisions that could potentially go in our favor. In American football, we have a unique opportunity with the start and the stop of the game, and the coaching staff has the ability to challenge a referee's decision on the field. And we have 200-foot wide video boards here at Levi Stadium that we will show our coach what we believe is the right call if the referee made the wrong call. And within the rules of the NFL, we're allowed to show things and not show other things. And we're going to show our coach what's going to help our team, and we're not going to show our coach what's going to hurt our team. And this 8K technology 100% will help us show the coach what he needs to see and potentially overturn plays.
And where, just so we get sort of an idea of the system, when it comes to the relevant specs, sort of how do you ensure that the optical and digital zoom capabilities and the technology, work together to ensure there's no pixelation? Yeah,
so each 8K camera, again, 120 frames per second, each one is broken down into small HD signals, and it's ironic to even say small HD signals. There are 16 HD 16 by 9, 1920, 1080 frames, let's say, 16 of them that make up an 8K raster. And then you add a second phase to that to make it 120 frames per second. So you actually have 32 3G signals or 1080p signals, 32 of them hitting a replay system, which takes in all the data, and we can then go in anywhere we want and zoom in and pan and scan around the frame and still extract an HD signal. Does that make sense?
Yep, that makes sense. And then, so how does this video, how does it make it possible? How are you able to ingest this huge amount of data?
Well, that's one of the feats here. The 8K cameras are fantastic. I mean, they look incredible. And 120 frames per second, it looks incredible. The next part is the replay system, getting all that data and taking it all in. And that's what's difficult as well. It's about 3 gigabits per second of information per camera per phase. So each camera, because there's 2 phases in each camera for 120 frames, each camera is taking about 6 gigs per second. So the 5 cameras, you have 30 gigabits per second of information that you have to ingest into these servers and then digest it and then output it within, a millisecond or 2 milliseconds. That's how quickly the replay systems can turn it around, and we can output a signal onto the video boards.
And then whereabouts in the stadium, in Levi Stadium, do you need to sort of place the cameras to get the optimum solution?
Yeah, that's a good question. These cameras are static mounted. We don't have operators behind the camera. So there was a tried and true method that I've seen in football for many, many years. This is my 18th season in the NFL. And during marquee games, whether it's a Super Bowl or championship games, even college football playoffs, when the networks come in, they'll static mount 4 cameras usually, and they're usually on each goal line and each sideline. And then, so we decided let's just do the tried and true way of goal line, sideline, because that's what's going to determine whether a player's foot is in or out of bounds, if they cross the goal line or don't cross the goal line. And the 5th camera we have is what a lot of people reference as the all 22 camera, meaning it has all 22 players on the field that are playing that down. It captures all of them. So it really captures the entire field. And this image right here on the 8K camera, we have that displayed on a couple 8K televisions around the stadium. It is unbelievable because although the players look really small on the 8K television, you can see the logo on their sneaker, for instance. It's that clear. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Wow, it sounds it. And then, what would you say is the most significant benefit, or indeed benefits, this new technology brings both to sort of fans of football and indeed the game itself?
Yeah, another great question. Our job as the vice president of game day production, and then there's the broadcast operations, that's kind of a little bit different, but vice president of game day production, our job is to help the team win on the field. And again, I explained it earlier, we have that unique ability of showing our coach what he needs to see in order to make decisions on the field. So that's first and foremost. We try and help the team win the game. There's some other things that go along with that. Obviously, in a non-COVID year, if you play a replay on the video boards and that call goes in our favor, 70,000 fans jump up and start screaming at the top of their lungs. Or if you show a play that happened that a call was not made, in the NFL, you can replay what's called a pass interference. If they don't call that and you show it and we challenge it and it becomes a penalty, then the fans just go nuts. So that's really, our job. 1 is to help the team win on the field. 2, get the fans excited. Any way we can get the fans excited. And that's how we think it's going to be a game changer here.
And obviously that's a perfect segue into my next question, which is obviously, we have to, recognize the times we're in with COVID. And obviously, worldwide fans are predominantly not able to be in stadiums. So what was the main driver for you to launch this, technology now when fans aren't actually in our stadiums?
Yeah, well, this has been in the making for almost 2 years now. It's not something that happens overnight. There's a lot of testing. We use a term, it's bleeding edge. It's so advanced that we're the first people trying to do it. So naturally, there's going to be all sorts of little bumps that you have to overcome and figure out. So this has been in the works for 1.5 years, 2 years. Obviously, a year ago, we didn't know COVID was going to be a thing. And unfortunately, we don't have the fans here to see some of the results. But we will take some of these Foxconn pan and scan of the game, and we'll put it out on digital social this week and show the fans at home what we're doing here to hopefully help the team win on the field. Unfortunately, that didn't happen last night. Played a great team with the Green Bay Packers, but we'll get them next time. We have good record here against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. It's a little my shameless plug on beating the Packers every once in a while.
Obviously, you debuted this 8K replay solution at Thursday Night Football. So can you give us any sneak peek as to, were there any major sort of highs that came out of it?
Yeah, there was. And it was the genesis of why we wanted to do this. There was a really close call with the Green Bay Packers, and the call on the field was a first down. And we saw through the 8K camera that it wasn't a first down. He was about a half yard short. The player, when he ran out of bounds, he was about a half yard short. So we zoomed in and we got the play, and we were able to overturn the play. So the referees on the field called it a first down. It ended up being 4th and inches because of the replay and the challenge, and they didn't get the first down. So now it's 4th and inches. And that's why we're doing this.
So it obviously works. And just actually picking up on that, obviously that must be one of the key drivers, but were there any other key drivers for you to want to forge ahead with this technology?
It's technology. One of the reasons why I wanted to work so badly for the 49ers and Levi Stadium in 2014, when the stadium was built, they were really pushing the envelope on technology. It was kind of labeled the most technologically advanced stadium in the world. And I'm a nerd. I love technology. I wanted to be a part of that, and thankfully they hired me to come out and do what I do. My specialty, I consider, is video board production and engineering of video board systems and PA systems. So they brought me out here in 2014 to be a part of that, and we continue to this day to push the envelope on technology. And we will always kind of look at ourselves as being the most technologically advanced stadium in the world. As you know, with technology, you can't sit on your hands. It's constantly evolving, and we're going to keep pushing internally to kind of stay on the forefront of technology where it makes sense. And if you look at some of the things Levi Stadium and the 49ers have done, it's always groundbreaking things, and I'm super excited to be a part of that, and specifically with this one element.
And finally, Aaron, are there any benefits to the at-home fans, through this 8K solution?
Well, again, we will post on our digital social channels the play or 2 plays of the game to kind of show them the technology. Really, where is 8K technology going? It will be the next step in the evolution of video production. So we're just jumping in now. The Tokyo 2020 Olympics, in some ways, were supposed to be 8K. Obviously, that didn't happen. So we're one of the first. Well, we are the first venue that I know of that's doing it around the world. There could be, congruent venues trying to look at this technology. Certainly some networks are doing it or trying it. But to this scale, we believe we're the first ones to do it, to have 5 cameras simultaneously mapping the field, digitally mapping the field. So anything that happens on that field, I can zoom in and get what happens. If I want to see my coach's reaction, I'm going to say way up here in the corner of the frame, and the ball's way down here in the corner of the frame. We can just zoom in up here and we can show the coach's reaction, if that makes sense. So who knows where the 8K technology is going to go in the next year or the next 5 years or the next 10 years, but certainly it's on the map. Vendors are starting to make that technology, and we're excited to be one of the first in the world to really dive in.
Well, it all sounds incredible, Aron. Thank you so much for your time today. We wish you every success both on and off the field.
Thank you.
And we look forward to following this project. It sounds extremely, like you say, not even leading edge, but bleeding edge. So yeah. Thanks so much for that, Aron.
Absolutely. Great.